Hi everyone, we are excited to have you here in today's fun-filled learning session at Uolo. Here is a quick look at how you can submit your work after the class. As a first step, go to live.uolo.com. You can use any browser to access this site. On this page, you will see a list of all our classes. Scroll down and you can see the Submit Your Work button. And then you will see a list of the classes that you've last attended, which could, for example, show the dance or craft or science experiment classes you've attended recently. Next, it will show you the list of children whose names are registered in this mobile number. Choose your name from this list to submit your work. For instance, if you are Satvik Kumar, choose that name. And then choose the class for which you would like to make your submission. For example, if you've attended the New Year's Masquerade Party session and you'd like to make the submission for this class, click on the Submit Your Work button below that. And then upload the photo you've taken. Choose the image from your phone and click Submit. You can scroll down and view all your past submissions and see how many of your friends or peers have liked your work. You can also see others' work and like their work to inspire your friends. If you want to showcase your work on social media, that too is very simple. Click on Share, copy the link and post it on Instagram or Facebook or any other platform of your choice. Just a tiny reminder, your submission looks a lot better if you could click a photo in the landscape mode rather than the portrait mode. Do not forget to tag us at YOLO_app. I'm eagerly looking forward to all your submissions right after this class.
Hello, everybody. I hope you all are having an extremely beautiful day. And I just shared the submission process with you all. So I hope you have followed that. And in case you haven't or you have joined in late and you missed the submission process, don't worry. I'll share the process of submission towards the end of this class. So you need not just wait for the submission process because I'll be sharing it towards the end of this class as well. And yes, so I welcome all of you all to class 3 of our botanicals with oil pastels. So it has been already the 50% of the class has been complete, the entire course has been reached to 50%, and this is precisely the class 3 of our course. And we have been doing this funda of not revealing the name of the flower till the end, and the same thing will be applicable here as well. So I have a different plan for you in this class yet again, and we'll play the same game where I'll not reveal the name right at the beginning of the class, and when it's completely done, we are done with our illustration, I'll then reveal the name. Till then, again, let's see if anybody could guess the name of the plant. And yes, so that's all for the class that you need to know. And the next thing is that you need to have all your materials, right? So don't worry, I'll be discussing all the art materials in detail. Just before we get started with the class, I need quick thumbs ups from you that yes, we are ready for the class to get started, and let's dive into the fun activity. Yes, I need thumbs ups coming in, and then I'll share the screen, and then we can just get started. I need thumbs ups coming in the chat section. Come on, quickly. Yes, I see thumbs ups coming in. A few thumbs ups more. Yes, quickly give me a thumbs up that yes, ma'am, we are ready, and let's get started for the class. Okay, so a good number of people giving me thumbs up. It's time to share the screen now. I'll share the screen quickly. Okay, so I hope you can see the screen now. And I have a good number of thumbs up coming in as well. So let's get started and let's first discuss about the art materials, right? So we need to discuss about the art materials first. So here we go. Okay. First material we need is an A5 size of white sheet. If you have an A4 size, just cut it into half and you have an A5 size sheet. If you don't have a white sheet, just take a paper from your notebook and you can use that. Okay, so that's our first material. Second, we need a pencil. Make sure it's nicely sharpened so that you have clean, rough sketches. So second is the pencil. Third, you need these cotton earbuds. So I have around 3 in these. I need a scale, so we all need a scale or a ruler, anything which is available at your place. And the fifth one are these oil pastels. So since this course is about oil pastels, only we need these oil pastels. But in case you are not having oil pastels or you're not having one or two of these shades, you can make a substitute of these. You can use wax colors, wax crayons, plastic crayons, even color pencils if you don't have oil pastels. But make sure you're not leaving the class once you are joined in. Okay, so if you are not having any particular shade, that's fine as well. In case you're not having oil pastels, you can still carry out the same fun activity using your color pencils, your wax crayons, plastic crayons, or any sort of colors that you have. Okay, so let's quickly discuss the shades that we need. So I have black, brown, yellow, orange, blue, green, and that's a dark green. So I have two shades of green over here. That's a light green and a dark green. In shade blue, I have a light blue shade. In case you're not having a light blue, that's fine if you use a dark blue as well. Other shades include orange, yellow, brown, and black. I'll quickly repeat these shades for you. That's black, that's brown, there's yellow, orange, light blue, light green, and dark green. In case you're not having any of these shades, it's totally fine as I said. Okay, so these are the oil pastels that we need in today's class. So that's all that you need for today's class to get started. Okay, we have pretty much discussed about the art materials, basic art materials, and now it is time to get started. Yes, so let's get started with creating our illustration for today. So first, I'll just use my scale and pencil, the ruler and pencil, and I'll draw margins, thick margins on all 4 sides. So this is the same thing that we did in the previous class as well. We'll give a clean margin, thick, bold margins to all 4 sides of the sheet. In case you're not having a scale and a pencil, you can skip this process. But I'll first give a margin. So if you see, I've just given the margins on all 4 sides with the help of a scale. So just giving thick, broad margins on all 4 sides. And as I said, in case you're not having a scale or a ruler, you can completely skip this process. All right. So that's the 4 margins that I've given. I've just sticked this paper down to the table so that it doesn't move. You need not stick your pages down to the table. This is completely avoidable. So we have just drawn those thick margins on the 4 sides of the sheet. And now, as you know, whatever we draw, whatever we sketch, whatever we color, which remains inside these 4 margins only. So these margins are nothing but it acts as a frame to our artwork and makes it look neater. And that's the reason we are preferring giving these, broad margins on all 4 sides of the sheet. In case you're not drawing the margins, as I said, that's totally fine. But in case you have drawn these margins, make sure that whatever you draw stays within these boundaries only, stays within the margins only. Okay. So take your pencils now, and all of yours, just make sure that for the first time you're observing the rough sketch nicely. When I say that I'm repeating this step now, then you can draw along with me. All right. So for the first time now, just observe what I draw, and then when I repeat, you all can draw along with me. Okay. So we stay within the margins and move a little bit. Okay. So first, just observe this. Just towards the left side, I am drawing a circle. So that's not a very large circle, a tiny circle towards the left side of the sheet. And then just around the circle, I draw these oval shapes. So are you able to see these oval shapes which are looking like seeds? Okay. So can you just spot these oval shapes that I've drawn around the circle? Yes? So all of you all now can take your pencils and draw along with me. So just towards the left side, we first draw a circle, and now just about the circle, we are giving these tiny oval shapes. Oval shapes, we all know what is the center of this flower called as. Yes, the center part of the flower which has some kind of seeds in the center. What is it called as? Come on, I shared the term with you in the previous class. Giving you 5 seconds to guess what are these called as, the center part. Yes, those are called as the pollens. This is nothing but the pollens of the flower that we are drawing first. The center part has some seeds of the flower. That is nothing but the pollen grains of the flower. Okay, so these are the pollens that we have drawn. Now, around these pollens, we are going to draw the petals. So if you see, I'm just drawing a simple rough petal. So I'm quickly repeating this to you. First, I'm just drawing 2 lines. Okay, so could you just spot these 2 lines over here? Just roughly 2 lines. And then I connect these lines with the help of a inverted U. Just an inverted U that I'm drawing. Similarly, next to it again, we draw another petal. And this time, you can just make sure that the petal shape may be a little rough edged. It may have some rough edges as well. The only thing that you need to make sure is that this flower, this particular flower, has only 5 petals. Okay, so make sure that these petals that you are drawing are only 5 in number, because this particular flower naturally has only 5 petals to it. Okay, so make sure that the number of petals are only 5. You can just play with the size of the petals. They need not be exactly the same. Okay, so that's the first flower. Just following the similar process now, just next to it, a little on the top side, I first draw a circle. Then I draw these oval shapes, which are nothing but the pollens of the flower. These are the pollens of the flower. And then we move towards drawing the petals. So first I draw these 2 lines, and then I just connect them. If you see, I've just made a little bit of pointed edge this time. That's totally fine as well. So the only thing that you need to keep in mind is that the flower does not have more than 5 petals. Okay, so these are the 2 flowers that I've drawn up till now. In case you have missed onto something, I'll quickly take you right from here and let's have a quick recap from here. So first we draw a circle. Just around the circle, we draw tiny oval shapes, which are nothing but the pollens of the flower. So just about this circle, we are drawing the pollens, and then we move on to the petals. We just play with the shape of the petal, just rough petals. It need not be exactly perfect in terms of size, but make sure that your flowers are having only 5 petals. So that's the 4th petal, and now the 5th petal. Okay, So I've drawn two of these flowers now. I'll draw a stem in between these two. Just two parallel lines to draw a stem below the first flower as well. Okay. Now the leaves as well. So just carefully observe this leaf. The leaves of this particular flower are a little elongated. They are longer inside. Yes. So could you just observe this particular leaf over here? I'll quickly give you a recap. So that's the stem, and then we draw an elongated leaf. So that's the first curved line, and then I draw another curved line. Okay, the similar kind of a leaf on the other side, and just below the first flower, in case you have some gap, you can draw another leaf there. So this spot, I've drawn these elongated leaves. This need not be perfect in the size and shape of this particular leaf. Just a rough sketch would be fine as well. And now, just above this second flower, if you see, I'm drawing a stem again. So this is a different kind of a stem that I've drawn. So first, just carefully observe this particular stem where the cursor is moving. Could you spot the stem? We are going to draw the similar stem now. So I'm quickly taking you back from here. So first, I draw a curved line. So that's the first curved line that you draw. Next, you draw another curved line, which is a little smaller than the previous curved line. So again, a line which is parallel to the first line, but it is smaller in size. Then you just extend it to make a V, an alphabet V. And then on the other side, you draw a longer stem. So that's as easy as I said. And now just around it, we are going to make these two curved lines again. So could you just spot these two curved lines? And then we are drawing this teardrop shape. Could you spot this? This is a simple teardrop shape that I've drawn. A simple teardrop shape. Similarly on the other side as well. Okay. Just giving these two curved lines in between. I'm quickly taking you back right from here. So first we draw a stem. We start by drawing one curved line and just another curved line parallel but smaller in size. We make it an alphabet V and draw another line. Then we just extend these two ends of the line with the help of these curved lines again. Just extend these lines with the help of curved. And then just above this, we draw a drop shape. So the teardrop shape that we call it as. And the same on the other side. And then I just give two rough curves inside this. Okay. So we're partly done with the rough sketch of this particular illustration. And the top portion over here that you spot, these two teardrop shapes and the stem, this part of the plant is called as nothing but a bud. So every flower, before it is born, it is a bud. It is a bud which blooms into the flower. So this particular bud is going to bloom into a flower when the plant grows. But previously, the previous stage of a flower is a bud. Okay, so this is a bud that we have drawn over here. And we are done with the rough sketch partially. If you want to add more of these buds, you can just go ahead and add few more. I've just added one over here. And we're done with the rough sketch precisely. And it's now time to take these colors. So I hope the rough sketch is ready in front of you and you're all set to get started with the oil pastels and add a splash of colors to your rough sketch. Yes, so it is the colors which make your artwork lively, it brings life to your artwork. So it's time to make this particular rough sketch into a realistic artwork. Okay, so make sure you're following each and every step carefully and you'll have a beautiful illustration ready before you when the class completes. Okay, so we're just getting started with these oil pastels now. So first I'm taking this light blue shade and we'll start with the petals first. We'll start with the flowers first. So carefully observe this particular trick. We start from the outer sides, the curved ends of every petal. That's the first petal that I've done. Similarly to the next one, only on the edge of this petal that we are adding a layer of color. Similarly on the next petal as well. And as you see, I'm not coloring towards the center part. I'm leaving it blank. I'm coloring or I'm adding colors only to the edge of the flower. I'm not adding colors to the entire petal. I'm adding colors only to the edge of this flower. Similarly to the next petals as well. There we go. So I can just add a little bit of color towards the edge of the petal and to the sides as well. So once done, now you need to take a earbud, a cotton earbud, and you're now going to blend it nicely. So we all know this trick very well by now. This particular technique is called as blending the colors with the paper, and we're using a earbud for this process. In case you're not having earbuds, you can carry out the similar process with the help of your fingers as well. So just like I'm moving these earbuds in the center portion, you can move your fingers in the center portion to smudge it nicely. So I'm just blending it nicely with the paper so that it has a smooth look. So the same technique I'm following it on the next petals as well. So slowly move in circular motions and add color to the entire petal. Following the same process. Don't worry if you have missed it, I'll be repeating it again. I'm just done with all the petals over here now. So it's time to take you a little back from here. And let's begin from here as well. So first we add a layer of color only towards the edge portion, the U portion of the petal. We need not add color to the central part of the petal or the entire petal, just towards the edge of it. We give a nice layer of oil pastel, and as you see, a light blue shade over here. And if you're not having a light blue shade, you can use any shade of blue that is available with you. That's what I'm doing. I'm adding the layer of color only to the edges and the sides as well. And now it's time to blend this color. So I move in tiny circular portions and blend it well with the paper and give it a smooth look. So just moving in circular motions with my earbud and giving it a smooth look. Okay, similar technique in the next petal as well. Just moving in tiny circular motions and blending the color well with the paper. Just following the similar technique now. So this technique is pretty much popular because we have already followed the similar technique in our previous classes as well. So you must have just mastered this technique. Even if you're not using your earbuds, you can simply use your fingers and blend it nicely as well. So just following the same process, And we are done with the first flower, and it's time to add little color to the pollens now. I'm taking a yellow color and I'm going to color these tiny pollens that we have. As you see, I'm just coloring these pollens and adding a tinge of yellow and orange to it. So just two of these colors only on the pollen grains. And now the center portion, which is blank, we'll just add a little bit of brown to that area. Okay. And then if you want to add some dots, you can take your yellow oil pastel and add some dots. So I'm quickly taking that. We're just adding colors to the pollen. First, this is the yellow color, and then just at the corner, I'm adding a little bit of orange color. And now towards the central portion, the extreme center, I'm adding this brown color, this brown oil pastel. Above this brown oil pastel, I'll quickly dab my yellow color to make it look a little realistic. We have a first flower ready in front of you. You can just start guessing the name of the flower in case you have seen this flower. But I'll be seeing the name of the flower only towards the end of this class. We have a first flower ready in front of you. In case you have any guesses, quickly write it in the comment section and let's see if you're able to guess the name correctly. So till then, let us all move to the next flower, following the same technique, extremely same process in the next flower as well. So I'm going to quickly zoom out a little, and now just following the same technique in the next flower as well. First, adding colors only towards the edge of the petal. Doing the same process and adding colors only to the edge of the petal. Okay. Keep your guesses coming in as per the name of the flower. You're able to guess the name of the flower. Okay, I'm done with adding colors. Now I'm going to take a earbud and quickly blend it well. If you have observed, just by blending this oil pastel with paper nicely and neatly, you have a smoother look to your overall artwork. Yes, that gives you a smooth looking artwork. It has a smooth range of colors. Okay, there we go. The last petal now, blending it nice. Okay, so there we go. Now to the pollens, I add yellow only to the pollens and then a little bit of orange to it as well. So just at the tip or the edge of these pollens, I'm adding a little bit of orange. And towards the center, if you see, I'm adding this brown shade. And then I just dab my yellow oil pastel. Just dab it nicely to make it look a little realistic. Okay, so we are just done with two of these flowers. And now we can move to the upper top bud section. It's going to be the same as well again. We are going to just give an edge of blue to all three buds that I've drawn. And then I'm going to just blend it well with the earbud only. So just blend it nicely to give it a smooth look. Just by blending, you end up giving color to the entire bud section. Yes, so just the similar technique. I add a little bit of color to the top section and then I blend it. I'm just taking you a little back where I'm blending the color nicely into the buds. Okay, so we are done with the buds and the flower as well. If you feel it's really light, you can just add a little bit of blue color. So it's now time to add colors to the stem of the flower. So I'm taking a dark green first. I'm going to color the stem, followed by light green, and I just shade it nicely. with the light green now. Make sure you're giving an entire light green or whatever shade of green that you're using to the stem and onto the leaf. I'm adding a little bit of dark green to some random edges. Not too much, just a little bit at the end of the buds. And once done, you can just move to the leaves now. I think you all have by now mastered the trick of shading your oil pastels nicely. So I'm not repeating much of it, but this time I'm going to color the entire leaf with dark green because this particular flower by nature has these leaves in dark green only. It has a peculiar way. It has its stem in light green, but the leaves are dark green only. If you see, I'm just done with the flowers, the buds, the stem, and the leaf as well. And if you want to add a little bit of more random leaf, you can add it around your flowers, just the way I'm doing it here. So I'm not drawn anything there, but I've just added leaves randomly with the oil pastels itself directly. Okay. Just gonna add these leaves as black spaces. This artwork might look a little complete to you by now. So if you like it this way, you can keep it this way only. But as you know, I like giving a little bit of background to it to make it look a little more realistic. We're now going to follow the similar technique and give it a nice shaded background. So it's now time to give a background. So I'm going to make use of this black oil pastel and I'm going to randomly color this black at the edges and in between as well. If you like your artwork the similar way, you can do that. But if you want to add a background, you can follow me as well. If you see, I'm just randomly coloring black towards the edges, below the flower, in between the flower. And then, as you know, even if you have white spaces between your black oil pastel, the moment we blend it nicely with the help of our fingers or with the earbud, it will all vanish away. Don't worry, just randomly give these black colors wherever you like. And then when we blend it, it will be all smooth again. And just make sure that you're staying within the margins only. Alright, make sure you're within the margins only. I'm adding a background, and as I said, I'm not going to repeat this much because you already know this process very much in detail because we have followed the same thing as well. So I'm just going to add a black background, then a little bit of dark green, just adding a little bit of dark green in between next to black wherever we want. Make sure you're not coloring over the buds and the flowers, and you need not ruin your artworks just because you want to give a background. Be neat with your backgrounds again while you're randomly coloring. And just go ahead with a shading of black and dark green, and make sure you're neatly coloring it nice and well so that we can blend it well. A little bit of light green again. Okay. So just randomly, just at random places where you have space left, just give a layer of color, and then you can just start by blending it once you're done with adding colors. Okay, don't worry, just be random at the places where you spot a little bit of space, just go ahead, add a little bit of color, and then when we blend it, it's entirely covered. If you see, I've just started from one corner. I'm blending it with my fingers only. I'm blending it nicely with my fingers at this particular area. And then I move ahead, I use my fingers to blend it nicely. And if you see all the white spaces that I had, even when I added the black layer, the black color, it is all vanished because I am now blending it nicely with my fingers. If you find it difficult to blend it with your fingers, you can follow the similar technique with your cotton earbuds itself. So I'm just making use of fingers first, and then at certain nooks and corners where my fingers couldn't reach, I'll then be using these earbuds. So now if you see, these are little corners where blending where fingers could be a little unneat, untidy. I'm just going to blend it with the earbuds now. I'm just blending it nicely with the earbuds only. Just blending it nicely with the earbud. Make sure you're not adding color inside the flower or inside the stem. It is just the background that we need to get nice and neatly. And as I said, if you don't want to give a background and want to keep your artwork just the way it is without the background, that's totally fine as well. You can make your submissions that way as well. But if you want to make it look a little more realistic, you can give these backgrounds. Because this is my most favorite part when I randomly color and then I blend it nicely, it ends up looking really, really realistic. Just covering all the white spaces now. Okay. Make sure you have less white spaces. And you're staying within the margins only. I'm almost done with the artwork. Okay, we're almost done with the artwork now. So everybody who has given the background or not given the background now. So it's now time to reveal the name of the flower. We created this artwork with the help of oil pastels. And the name of this particular flower is Forget Me Not. Yes, that is the name of the flower. It's called as Forget Me Not. And these naturally are very tiny. These flowers are very, very tiny, but we have just made an enlarged version of it. We have made a zoomed in version of it. But you can just quickly, once this class completes, you can go to Google, you can type Forget Me Not flower, and you'll be able to see a lot of pictures of this particular flower, which are really, really tiny in size. These are pretty light blue in color. And yes, so that's the name of the flower. It's a Forget Me Not flower. That is a little bit of unpopular flower, and that is what we created. So the new things learned in this particular class were the particular stage of flower where it is a bud. So we were introduced to the bud part of the plant, which is the bud. Secondly, we just revised all the techniques of oil pastels that we have learned so far and applied it in today's class as well. Third was the discovery of this unpopular flower called as Forget Me Not. That was our artwork for today, and I hope that all of you all enjoyed the class with me, enjoyed working with oil pastels, enjoyed discovering this new flower, and have a closer look to nature. Okay, so that was our class for today. I hope all of you all are going to make your submissions on time, because right after this class completes, I'm going to check your submissions, and I don't want you to miss the chance to get yourself in the top 10 of the submissions. Okay, so make sure you're making your submissions, whether it is good, whether it is bad, but make sure you're making your submission. because I personally evaluate all your submissions and I know who are consistent in making your submissions. So make sure you're making your submission and yes. So give me a thumbs up if you're going to make your submissions and you're going to meet me in the next class. Give me a thumbs up. Quickly give me a thumbs up that yes, ma'am, we are going to make the submissions and we are going to meet you in the next class as well. The next class is going to be really, really exciting. So don't miss this chance again. And I'll see you in the next class. Now I have to go check your submissions. And I'll see you in the next class. And then please take care of yourself. Enjoy all the hobby classes on Uolo. And okay, goodbye.
Hi everyone, we are excited to have you here in today's fun-filled learning session at Uolo. Here is a quick look at how you can submit your work after the class. As a first step, go to live.uolo.com. You can use any browser to access this site. On this page, you will see a list of all our classes. Scroll down and you can see the Submit Your Work button. And then you will see a list of the classes that you've last attended, which could, for example, show the dance or craft or science experiment classes you've attended recently. Next, it will show you the list of children whose names are registered in this mobile number. Choose your name from this list to submit your work. For instance, if you are Satvik Kumar, choose that name. And then choose the class for which you would like to make your submission. For example, if you've attended the New Year's Masquerade Party session and you'd like to make the submission for this class, click on the Submit Your Work button below that. And then upload the photo you've taken. Choose the image from your phone and click Submit. You can scroll down and view all your past submissions and see how many of your friends or peers have liked your work. You can also see others' work and like their work to inspire your friends. If you want to showcase your work on social media, that too is very simple. Click on Share, copy the link and post it on Instagram or Facebook or any other platform of your choice. Just a tiny reminder, your submission looks a lot better if you could click a photo in the landscape mode rather than the portrait mode. Do not forget to tag us at YOLO_app. I'm eagerly looking forward to all your submissions